it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have Kendall and Kylie's collection. It's all about Kendall and we're going to do a look. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. So this palette was $49. I got it from Ulta and for whatever reason I could not use Afterpay. It said that it was an item that Afterpay didn't approve. So anyhow, I went up using my points and paying like 30 some odd dollars for it. Here she is. There's all mattes. There's not one shimmer in this palette. So we're going to get started and I'm going to use the first three colors that are in the palette on the top row. And I used MAC Paint Pot for my eyeshadow primer. I'm going in with Eco Tools brushes. I use crown brushes today, Morphe brushes, and blinged brushes. Let's see if I can get you a close-up. Okay, so what I've noticed with this palette, and so far so good, is that the eyeshadows are a little powdery, but it is definitely a much better formula than her previous palettes before her rebrand. I had bought her holiday palette in 2019 and it was awful, her eyeshadow palette. I ended up returning it. So she has made some improvements for sure with her line. And this is a pretty decent palette. I'm just going to go darker and darker in here, and then we're going to do something a little different today because I'm kind of in the mood to do different. A general rule of thumb when applying eyeshadow is to make it real light on the inner corner, and then you can make it darker as you're moving outward towards the outer corner. These are some pretty colors. They're kind of super light, but they can be built up. And that's our goal, to build them up and go a little bit darker. I really need to get my tan on because this color is gorgeous, but it would look so good on tan skin. So I'm just kind of working this color in. As I said before, I'm going to go darker and darker, and we'll probably do a cut crease today. Alright, so let's go in with the brown that's in this palette and put that on the outer corner. I'm kind of just mapping things out, figuring what I want to do. When you have hooded eyes, you got to bring your eyeshadow up higher than normal. So that is what I did here. Eyeshadow can look a little bit messy and misguided while you're doing it and you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. There's like a dark plum color in here and I'm kind of like in love with it. So I'm just putting that the outer part of my eye there. Not really sure at this point where I'm going with this look, but knowing that it'll come out just fine. I'll figure it out as I go. I was kind of hoping there'd be shimmers in this palette, but there was not one of them. So we're working with all mattes. The brushes I'm using right now is from the Morphe Sweet Oasis collection, and I'm going in with a color that's a little bit lighter. It's got like a pinky kind of undertone. I love these fine detailing brushes. They make creating things quite easy. So I'm just kind of filling that in and trying to get it to look as bright as possible. Mature eyelids can be a challenge because they move. They do, and for all you mature ladies out there that have mature lids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is so much easier to put makeup on a 20-year-old. Anyhow, I'm not struggling. I know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of building up these colors, and then we're going to do a cut crease, and I'm going to go a little bit lighter, the lightest for the inner corner, and that's a pretty bright color. So the pigmentation is pretty much there. And I use several colors in this palette because reviewing it for you, I want to make sure that I'm giving you my honest review. And that would mean using as many colors as possible. There have been some colors in Morphe palettes, unfortunately, that didn't work at all in the last couple palettes they had. The Lucky Charms one, and the Nyan palette. There was literally shadows in there that did not work. Before I do that cut crease, I'm going to go ahead and kind of map out the area and the outer corner of my eye. I'm probably going to do some black liner there, and I wanted to put some shadow, try out the black, so I'm putting that in the outer corner and just kind of packing that in. I'm not worried about my lid because I'm going to be doing a cut crease, so that separation and pigment there is going to be gone. And I'm just building this up out here. Alright, so I'm kind of doing that wing on the, oh, well, I say kind of, I am. I'm kind of mapping out that wing there. I'm using the Hindash black liner. I don't know if it has a name, a shade name or not, but there's nothing on the pen itself. I don't have the box for it anymore, so I have no idea. I like to use the Alamar primer to do my cut crease instead of concealer. It just seems to work better, and it's super, super sticky. So the color just pops on there and it looks so bright, and I absolutely love it. So that's what I use. And I've got a Luxie brush in my hand, and basically, because I have mature lids, I go a little bit above my crease and try to make that line as straight as I can possibly get it. Okay, since there was no shimmers in here, I'm going to go to the Blossom palette from the Referral Cosmetics, their makeup subscription, and I'm going to choose a shimmer shadow from there to put where I put that primer down, and I'm loving it. And look how well it just sticks there. So I'm going to build it up a little bit, and then we're going to move on. Using one of my blinged brushes, I'm kind of just putting that brown matte shadow from the Kendall palette in the outer part of my lid. I want things to flow nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to be detailing the outer part of my eye, figuring out how I want it to look. I went back in with that little tiny brush from the Morphe Sweet Oasis collection into that plum color, and I am very careful placing that color exactly how I want it and using the brush to my advantage. Alright, so my look is coming together, and I am enjoying having this time alone. Finally, the kids went back to school after spring break. Yay! So I'm just kind of, like I said, fine detailing and figuring out how I want this look to go and how I want my angles. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. I definitely am enjoying doing this. Okay, so going back in with my Alamar primer, I've decided that I want to carry this goldish looking color, that shimmer from the Blossom palette, over. So I am just kind of mapping out where I'm going to put it by placing down that primer first. Okay, I'm all set. I have a new lash from Peach Cosmetics, I think it's called. Peachy or just Peachy, I don't know, something with a peach. Anyhow, it is a very fluffy, pretty lash, and I'm definitely enjoying it. This palette here is definitely good for everyday and neutral looks. I did enjoy it. It did blend out okay, the shadows, the ones that I used. I also went in with that shimmer from the Blossom palette right there, and tell me what you guys think. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. Do you like looks like this with the cut crease, or would you prefer more wearable everyday looks? Let me know that, and I will see you guys real soon in another video. Bye!